Belmont Stakes at Saratoga has arrived.
Trust the Profits is proud to be sponsored by Game of Silks. Go to silks.io to get in the game. Real ownership, real races, real rewards.
Sure, bad coffee.
What's up, racing fans? My name is Keith, and you could find me at the handle Each Every Stride on X Twitter. Welcome to Keith's Cash Plays, where we look for price play potentials on the big race day ahead. This is going to be actually at Saratoga Racecourse for the Belmont Stakes. Going to be Saturday, June 8th. I'm going to be looking at 4 value play horses I really am going to make a strong case for. And I like their chances actually to get into the winner's circle too. So definitely, maybe write down some notes. Really consider these horses come post time. And I appreciate everybody's support. This is Keats Cash Play's 21st episode. So thank you so much for checking it out here on Trust the Profits YouTube channel. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Last week we took off, but we had a Preakness show where we had a 3rd place finisher. So right now we're actually hitting at 30% with these price horses, mostly at double-digit odds. So 30% to get into the trifecta. So trying to build that over 30%. And, as horse players, we're always looking to improve. So let's get right into it. I'm actually going to go right to it's actually the poker stakes. So let's take a look at this a little bit further here for you. And let's look at the conditions here. This is 1 mile on the inner turf, the poker grade 3. And I'm going to look at a horse that is, some people are familiar with the connections with shipping horses over here. Very successful connections. 10-1 morning line on Mysterious Night. So very interesting horse to me here. A Godolphin-owned horse and trained by Charlie Appleby and will be ridden by William Buick. To me, William Buick is one of the top riders, especially turf riders in the world. So I'll explain why I like this fit for this horse. And grade 3 here. He's back in the States. So it's going to be really a great race here in the poker. But let's take a look at number 1, Mysterious Night here. Now, last time, when was the last time you actually thought you could get a 10-1 morning line on these connections? And this horse is, he's earned $500,000 in his career. So definitely has some, nice back class here. And for Buick, I like the fit here. Obviously, you see these masterful rides along the rail, and the decision making by this jockey is usually paid off in a big way. We've seen some brilliant performances there in rides. So Mysterious Night is interesting to me, the one horse here. Now let's look at the PPs a little bit further here for you. All right, we got last race was the Saudi National Bank Turf Sprint. And that was, not a great effort. It was the 13th place finish. And the horse just didn't really fire that day. Trip was 3 wide early on in the stages of the race and tried to tuck towards the rail. Now, I think Buick is a great rider, especially like I was mentioning, when he can get an inside path and a nice closing finish. Didn't materialize in this race. It was just too far back, this horse. And I think hopefully with a better setup here. Now, I actually like the rail draw here. So this kind of enticed me as well for my cash play. 10-1 morning line. So if you throw away that last race, let's just, hypothetically speaking, we'll throw away that last race. We have back-to-back wins at Dubai at the 7 furlong distance. So I like the stretch out here to the mile. And let's look. We got, as far as this horse has actually put in some nice works here. So let's take a look a little further here for you. All right, we got a long list of PPs here, how they spread it out with the international runners. But we got a 5 furlong workout. I like the 5 furlong workout, 59-3, best of 9 horses. So a bullet there. And as far as this, this horse is actually, the sire is a remarkable sire. This is sired by Dark Angel. And he sired 15 individual grade 1 winners. So very remarkable, including Mysterious Night here, who's a grade 1 winner. And he also sired the 2023 Ascot winner in Kadim. So a lot of even recency with these grade one winners. And I really think that this has got to look with the pedigree from a pedigree standpoint and connections and Godolphin 10-1 morning line. Now, this horse has had an experience where he does falter at times. So let's take a look a little bit further here. All right, we're going to actually dig a little further into the PPs. Now, we had a situation where this horse disappointed in the Craven Stakes at Newmarket, going 1 mile, and then was next seen at Newmarket in April 2023. All right, and then was gelded afterwards. But then as far as that, it was just another poor race at Ascot, going 7 furlongs. So a couple of poor efforts there, but then followed it up with those 2 races at Dubai that I really liked, back-to-back wins, kind of throw out the last race, hoping for nice price play potential here. I'm not so sure we're actually going to get 10-1 here. This is race 5, the Poker Stakes, Inner Turf Grade 3. Like the one there to really get into the money, spice it up, especially for some connections that are really have had some success, shipping and winning here in the States in these really competitive turf racing. Good. So we got that race covered. Race 5. I'm going to go all the way to race 9 here. So that was my first cash play. All right. We're going to keep it moving here. Swift pace here. Let's take a look at race 9 here for you. And this is the Jipper stakes here. Now we got 5.5 furlongs on the turf, grade 1. And I'm looking at the number 5 Big Invasion, 8-1 morning line. So far we got 10-1 morning line, 8-1 morning line. The key for this show is, I really just wanted to say this here, is that I'm trying to get these price plays in the money. We always want to get them to win, obviously. And I feel strong about these horses actually getting into the winner's circle. But if we can get them in the try, maybe you can key if you like some of the favorites and you could do some exactas and tries that way. But I really like these horses, and we're hitting at 30% right now. So it's actually going up and up. So it's a great sign. So with Big Invasion, 8-1 morning line, trained by Christophe Clement, and will be written by Joel Rosario. So this is another instance where I'm going to throw away the previous race. The last race was May 4th here. Yep, May 4th at Churchill. This was the grade 2 turf sprint. And Big Invasion drew the post 9. So post number 9, not really a great post, even in a turf sprint. I don't mind the outside draws as much, but sometimes you can get stuck a little wide there. Even you want to still save ground, even in the sprint. And so I watched the replay and it was accurate. This horse actually was in the 4 path. And then actually the note says the 8 path. So think about that. I mean, that's something where you still don't want to be wide in a competitive, especially a grade 1 like that. All right. And then as far as, this race, and then the previous race, this is why I think we might get a price, is the previous race off of the long layoff. This horse was 70 cents on the dollar and, and faltered, actually came in 4th place. So, if you look back even further than that, though, I like some of these races here. Let's look. We got the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Same jockey aboard Joel Rosario. And that was a tough field, grade 1. And that was when Nobles actually upset the apple card there. So won that race. That was still a competitive, very good race. So that was a nice 2nd place finish there at Santa Anita in the grade 1 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. So this is also the 3rd off the layoff angle here for this horse. So this is Big Invasion, the number 5 in Saturday on the big Belmont Stakes Day. So 3rd off the layoff angle. And, if you look at the races last year at Belmont, we had a game 2nd place finish. All right. So sometimes these horses actually can kind of pop up and do well on certain tracks. And this horse kind of fits that bill. He does well in New York. And this was 2nd place to Champion Caravel. So you remember this race last year, same exact race last year. So this horse is back. And I just thought, and also a second place effort at Saratoga last September sprinting on the turf, as you could see right there. Yep. So we got some good races last year. And then also Trainer Clement in 2024. This is actually one of his biggest traits is that he's hitting 47% with turf runners hitting the board. So first, second, or third place is hitting the board 47% with all turf runners this year in 2024. For his career, he's right near the 50% mark. So very remarkable to hit the board here with these turf runners. And Joel Rosario has done well also with turf runners this year. He's actually hitting 17% with turf runners that he rides, and he's 42% in the money on turf, even sprints or routes, just anything on the turf. So I'm hoping with the jockey and trainer success and the combo there, and the horse coming third off of the layoff, I like Big Invasion's chances a lot. Now, you're going to need a pace setup here. This horse definitely comes from off the pace. And I still like the setup here, potential price play. And so give me that. Give me Big Invasion. That's race 9 also as a cash play for me. Good. So we got those two in the books here for these horses. We'll review everything at the end. We got race 11. This is the Manhattan Grade 1. And I'm very interested in Farbridge. So this is number 8 horse, 10-1 morning line. Another Christophe Clement horse with Jose Ortiz aboard. So this is for a $1 million purse for 4-year-olds and upwards. Grade 1, Manhattan turf going 3 1/16, 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf. And as far as this, we got another third off the layoff angle for Farbridge, who had a very impressive 3-year-old campaign, I feel, last year. So let's look at that a little further. All right, great. Appreciate you guys, joining me here on the show. We got, no worse than third place last year. So we're always looking for that consistency. Always trying to put an effort there to get in the money. This horse was formerly in the Pletcher barn, and Ortiz, Jose Ortiz, who's the jockey on this horse, actually previously rode this horse in the Pletcher barn and now in the Clement barn. So very familiar. He should be very familiar with the horse's running style. And then Clement actually had this horse before Pletcher. So it's the reclaim. Always loved the reclaim angle. Maybe in the back of Clement's mind, he just thought, hey, this horse could really fit this kind of path that we're on for this race. So I like this fit here for Farbridge. And hopefully this horse gets the nice setup. Now we have the key here is the last 2 starts have been pretty slow breaks. So let's look at that here. Yep, we got a bobbled and brushed the last 2 starts. So this is the 2 starts coming back this year. So he's going to have to figure that out a little bit. Going to have to break better. And, he bobbled on March 31st, as I was saying, and won that optional claimer. First start back off of the layoff, and then was put in the Grade 1 Turf Classic at Churchill on May 4th. And that was where he brushed at the start. So not great starts there. But I was encouraged that this horse in a Grade 1, after a rough start, still managed a 5th place finish, passing horses. And then that was only the second start off of this layoff that you see here. I mean, this horse has run at Kentucky Downs. He was at the NYRA circuit last year. So I like that as well. And I mean, this horse is run against some big competition. And I like the efforts at the NYRA tracks last year. So I was kind of looking also at horses that do well at Saratoga. So this year, the Belmont Racing Stakes Festival is going to be at Saratoga all weekend. I definitely strongly considered that into my handicapping as horses in the past that have performed well at Saratoga. So Saratoga is I feel like it's a different running track than Belmont, kind of more of a trying track. So going to be looking for horses that kind of have that success in the past. And for Farbridge, he's as far as, let's look at some of the competitors here. Let's look. We got, I want to bring up a horse here in this race. All right, we're going to actually go right through the PPs here for you. So this is a strong quality 15-1 morning line. I think this horse is an absolute speedball in this race. I think this horse is just going to gun to the lead. And, that's going to be maybe the horse that everybody's going to be trying to catch. But I think that's actually good for our setup, is that it could set up a nice pace scenario. And then this horse, program trading, has actually finished ahead of our cash play a few times. So I'm hoping, third time's the charm here. And we're going to get hopefully Farbridge into the money, hopefully into the winner's circle too. So, I'm looking at that as well. And yeah, I just think with the pace scenario, that's not bad. I mean, that's something where we have a lot of other horses that are kind of coming off the pace in this race, but I think the clean break in the beginning is definitely key. And, the fact that this horse won off of the layoff, he was supposed to win that race, had a bobbled start, and then the grade one he brushed and still got a piece of it fifth. That was encouraging to me. So give me Farbridge, race 11. And this is Saturday at the Belmont Stakes Day. All right, and then we're going to go right to the big Belmont Stakes. So let's take a look. I think it's one of the best fields we've seen in recent years. I think that's also because of the circumstance now that the race is at Saratoga Racecourse, where the Belmont's going to be run at 1.25 miles instead. So you actually got some horses and connections then that are interested maybe in going a little bit of a shorter distance. And, maybe these connections feel that some of these horses have run at 2-year-olds at Saratoga. So they have that racing experience at the racecourse as well. So that brings me to my cash play pick here. So I think this is a very competitive field. I mean, you have the Preakness winner, Seize the Gray, and he won the Pat Day Mile before that. Now, it's funny because I actually had this horse at the Pat Day Mile winner on my show here. Didn't have him at the Preakness. Very impressive. Going to have to go from the one post. Resilience here. Definitely a strong competitor in the field. And Mystic Dan, we got the Kentucky Derby winner. Great to see him here in the Belmont. It was the runner-up in the Preakness to, really there Seize the Gray. So I just thought that was a great race too. So it'd be so cool if maybe he would be the first horse since Thunder Gulch to actually win the Kentucky Derby and then, runner-up in the Preakness and then win the Belmont. That would be so cool since 1995. So I want to actually go right to my pick here. So my next pick, my cash play is going to be the Wine Steward. The more I dug in and looked at this horse, the more I liked. And I'll explain why. I really thought, the time off from age 2 to age 3, from October to April, and the horse has come back and had very similar speed figures, even better now. So I think the horse is actually moving in the right direction. Now, you had back-to-back runner-up finishes, finishing no worse than second in his entire career. So I know this horse is lightly raced compared to a lot of the competitors. So I always look for that. I mean, we had Arcangelo last year kind of rising to the, cream of the crop at the right time. I'm kind of looking for the Wine Steward. He's, I know he's got second and second, but that move forward, we're always looking for that timing, the big classic race. So hopefully my timing's right here with the Wine Steward. Now, the sire, Vino Rosso. You remember Vino Rosso. He's actually, I looked him up. He's 9 years old now. He finished 4th place in the Belmont. So that's some very good credentials, good for the bloodlines there. That a nice 4th place finish in a huge race there in the Belmont. And then I'm just looking for the step forward for the Wine Steward. Now, we got 2 good workouts that I like going the 5 furlongs. So let's take a look at them a little further here. Yeah, we got the 2 5 furlong workouts. And I know that they were at Churchill Downs, but I like those. I like the stamina builders there for the Wine Steward. So New York bred, you know what I'm saying? So this would be a historic a win for New York breeding too, if this ever happened. I think this horse will take a little bit of money maybe for that aspect, but I think we're going to get a fair price. I mean, 15-1, we got a very competitive field here. Antiquarium is a horse on the rise up as well. Dornock, horse that was very high on the list, the rankings for the 3-year-olds earlier in the year. Thought ran pretty good in the Derby. He actually finished 10th after the one post. So horse could actually surprise a little bit at 15-1. Protective is the maiden here. So you never know. That would be a remarkable story. Honor Marie, got pinballed in the Kentucky Derby and has a new jockey, Florent Drew aboard. So you never know with that. Sierra Leone, going to be the favorite, the horse to beat. I'm just going to try to beat him. I mean, I know that this horse is game as ever. I mean, what a thrilling 3-horse photo there with Mystic Dan winning, winning it with a Forever Young for third. So I just thought that was a great race. And then they pointed right to the Belmont. And then we got the new horse, Mind Frame. This horse is the new horse on the block. I mean, he hasn't done really anything wrong at all. I just don't know. I mean, for me, this is third start. I think it's still a tall task to put a horse like this into a classic race with this deep of a field. So with all that being said, I'm really looking at the Wine Steward here. The consistency, I'm looking for the move forward. New York breeding. I mean, that would be a remarkable story here. We have Mike Maker, who is really 20% off of 20% off of the layoff, third off of the layoff. So I've always heard this angle, the Maker off of the layoff angle, and rider Manuel Franco, on the Wide Steward. He actually won on the Wine Steward at Saratoga. Now I know that was 6 furlongs in the funny side. I like a horse that can win any race previously at Saratoga. That was one of my main angles in handicapping the last night or two. So I just thought it was good runner-up finishes to Encino, who hopefully will be back on the trail soon, and then Antiquarium, who's in this race. So looking for the horse that actually can move a step forward here and hopefully get us into the winner's circle as a cash play. So let's review all of my picks here for you. We got race 5 in the poker. I like Mysterious Night for Appleby and Buick. 10-1 morning line, hoping for a nice, brilliant ride on the rail again. And then we got race 9. I'm looking at Big Invasion. 8-1 morning line. I think that this horse actually has a big look as well. He just needs to set up. And then Farbridge, race 11 in the Manhattan. Thought, really this horse just needs to break better, has really races to look back to last year. And then, as I just mentioned, the Wine Steward. I really think that this horse, if there's a move forward here, the speed figures have always been there. They're always in the 90s on Brisnet. And then if you can just get that move forward, this horse is very consistent. And we never know with these 3-year-olds, it could always pop up. Vino Rosso, from what I recall, he was a horse that kind of excelled towards the end of his career too. So give me those horses. I really hope that you all cash here on the big stakes day at Belmont. And my name's Keith. So give me a follow on every stride on X Twitter. I'll be putting out some content more. Remember to like and subscribe here to the video and to trust the profits. Appreciate everybody's support. Have a winning Belmont Stakes Day, historic day at Saratoga Racecourse. Take care now. Have a nice rest of your day. Take care.